what's going on in cyber world that might affect some of you. There's an application that's used by a lot of e-commerce sites called Shopify.
I've heard of it.
And Shopify, basically, you're going to buy something from them. They provide all the bits and whatnot that makes the shopping cart on the website work, process your payment, all those kind of things, or at least facilitate processing your payment. They were found to have very weak password policies. You could have a password of length 5, but even more so this day and age, and this is why, work with somebody who knows, kind of a thing, right? They were found also to not have a way to filter out a known breached password. Okay. So if you're setting up your Shopify account, you're the admin for your store or whatever, and your password is out there on the dark web, the place where all the bad people go, and a lot of not bad people to see what the bad people are doing. Right. Yeah, it didn't have a way of saying, oh no, you shouldn't use this password because it's already breached. This is kind of a new thing, really, to be fair.
Google has given me a few little, every now and then it's like, you might want to review your passwords, and I don't. I should. But Google is it just feels real automated to me, but maybe they are onto something. So yeah.
Yeah, no, you see a lot of it with password managers. You see a lot of it with different online services, especially online services that have a high risk attached to them, i.e. your store.
Yes.
So what's the so what behind this? Well, one would be easier for someone to hack into your store, hack into your web store. What do they do when they do that? A lot of times we see a very small script installed, a little bit of code that's installed, that when you go to the payment page, it is essentially key logging everything that's been put into that page, right?
Those are scary. Yeah.
And that's where, again, another aspect of this, one of the things we look at with clients is that page that you have where your customer is going to make their payment, that should be clean. Okay.
Oh, sure. Yes.
Here's your details we need to know about you, your payment information, and that's it. That's not the page where you try to upsell them. That's not the page where you try to, get flashy banners and sparkly things, because those make it more difficult for the user to say, well, wait a minute, what is this over here, right?
Absolutely.
So it facilitates that attack, where a hostile actor can get in there and somehow scrape or pull your credit information of your clients as they're trying to pay. Makes it harder to validate what's supposed to be there, what's not supposed to be there, things like that. But yeah, no, it's yet another thing that has to be tracked, has to be thought about, has to be considered when you're talking about cybersecurity, when you're looking at the integrity of what you're supposed to do as a business owner. And this gets into PCI, right? You might have a Shopify account, you might have a Square terminal in your business. They told you it's PCI compliant. Well, yeah, that part of it, the payment processor, the terminal, et cetera, those things are PCI compliant. But in the PCI compliance Bible, there's a requirement for you as the business owner to protect those devices. And time again, you'll see we go to a place to get a cocktail or a meal or something like that, and just look to see what's on the network with you, because you're on their Wi-Fi, and you'll see the credit card terminals, the order terminals. I was at one place, this is years ago, but I was at one place out west where they actually have the National Laboratories has a cyber range where we go and we play the good guys, we play the bad guys, we have fun, we learn a lot, kind of a thing.
Is that a yearly thing, or do you
it was industry specific to the power grid, actually. My work in securing the power grid. But one of the larger establishments in town, we were all sitting around, a bunch of us, and someone decided to scan the Wi-Fi that they were on, and I kid you not, boom, 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 boom. All the different devices that are on their order taking, facilitating that
Sure,
right
sure.
alongside everybody's iPhone and iPad and smartphone and whatnot.
Right, right.
Pointed this out to the manager, and of course the manager was livid because he actually knew, which I was surprised. But yeah, he was livid because they told me that was not the case.
Did they? And who are they, may I ask? They are who I paid.
Yes.
So, indeed. So, but this PCI compliance, just for people who don't know, that's payment card. Yeah. Is that a governmental thing that's
no,
or is it
that
independent? Okay.
that is the big five. So Visa, MasterCard, American Express, Discover Card, they all got together as things started.
Which is amazing.
They
got together.
Honestly, that's the best way to do it, right?
Yeah.
Have the industry police themselves. That's why we have seatbelts in our cars. It's not a requirement by federal law for there to be a seatbelt. They said it's a great idea for us to do it.
Yeah.
Daytime running lights, different things like this. The industry has, either through consumer pressure or the industry going, oh gosh, that's actually a really good idea for us to make that like a standard feature, right?
Right.
So same thing here with the payment card industry. As the internet became more and more of a medium, you weren't going to a place of business and doing payment.
Right.
Don't know what that means.
That means you might not.
You're young.
You might, yes. Oh man.
Go enjoy your joints that don't hurt.
Now you're talking. Light them
Actually,
up.
my joints make the same sound as the gold credit card machine did, which is cool. Oh, Jeff's moving around.
But yeah, no, they said, hey, it's a good idea for us to start putting some standards out there. And what we've seen over the years is, in the beginning, the credit card companies wanted the consumers to use them. When a business had a problem, they'd be like, yeah, we're going to take care of it. We're going to take care of it. That became burdensome financially. They turned to the processors, Aloha, Square, people like that.
Yeah.
Said, you need to take care of this. So
yeah.
processors followed the same suit, which arguably was wrong. They want people to continue to use their processors, so they're like, oh, we'll credit you back. But now we're at a point in the last 3-5 years where breaches. There's some organizations that they've had to pay $50,000 to get back on the Visa network.
Oh boy. Okay.
Plus, all right. But wait, there's more. Plus, they had to demonstrate the cybersecurity steps that they took to prevent this from ever happening again, which is, you're against the clock on being able to process payments. So it's a rush order. It's going to be more expensive, right?
Yeah.
The old adage, good, cheap, and fast. Well, you need it good, you need it fast. It's not going to be cheap. Right. And so they're having to spend a lot of money to recover when they really didn't need to in the first place.
Yeah. You go to like these outdoor markets and whatever, and you want to buy a beer, and you just have your plastic with you, and everyone's got the square attached to their iPads and such, or even our phones at this point. I've even seen the square on a phone.
Yep.
Do you, Eric? Do you trust those, or do those give you pause?
Yes and no.
Okay.
And I'm gonna talk the yes part of it first, and then we'll put on our tinfoil hats.
I got one here somewhere. Just let me know.
So that's actually fairly secure when you think about it, because you have the computing device and the payment processor all in one system that connects directly to the internet, to the payment processor, to the card, blah blah blah.
Sure.
So immediately when you swipe or insert your chip, the payment information is what's called tokenized. It's made safe to be transferred and moved around, right? You don't have another network that has to go through to get to the server that actually does it. You don't have, it's all happening on that app right there. Okay.
Straight shot into space.
Exactly. So anybody who's using that, and that's the only way you process payments, really, you just have to focus on whatever happens to if you lose that device, right? Make sure that
Sure. Yeah.
make sure if you're using your smartphone to process payments, you definitely should have that thing with a password, thumbprint, something that if
Some
someone
vibe.
grabbed it, they
Yeah.
can't do it, right? Because it's probably everything for your business at that point too.
Yeah. Yeah.
Now here's the other side of it. Somebody who's being malicious, right? So this wouldn't be I went to go get a snow cone at Summer Sounds or a bag of kettle corn at Summer Sounds.
Sure.
This is someone that's a little shady on the street, or something like that. Bear with me. I hate doing hypotheticals because
Well, so we'll say it's Jack.
yeah.
Um,
it is possible to have somebody take that reader and make it copy your information. Okay.
Mm.
It is possible to use that reader, like if someone were to take your credit card and go charge it in the back. Years ago, the way of skimming credit cards, there was this little, device not much bigger than a USB drive
Sure.
that they would just run the card as
Yeah.
they're taking the card back, and they get your magnetic data, right?
Absolutely.
You can do the same thing with these readers too.
Okay.
So
Okay.
there is a concern that, but
Yeah.
again, when you're dealing with somebody, you see them with the card, they put it in, they use it, they're in business, that they're there every weekend,
Yeah.
every whatever. Most likely that's not the case.
Okay.